In the words of the Cradley promoter Peter Adams, this 1982 Golden Hammer meeting is worthy of the world final itself, such as the calibre of riders attracted to this Cradley track here tonight. And perhaps the form these men show will give us some guide as to how that world final in Los Angeles in 1 month's time will go. Well, we couldn't have been luckier with the weather. It's been a beautiful day here. A far cry from last year in 1980, when both Golden Hammer events were washed out by torrential rain. Well, with the Collins and the Grahams, with Kenny Carter, with Bruce Pennell, we've got just about every big name from the world of Speedway for this 1982 Golden Hammer. Sit back and enjoy it with us, and your commentator, Dave Lanning.
Heat 1. On the inside, Phil Collins. Next to him, brother Peter. Grid 3 in white, Dennis Segalos, the American champion and world finalist from Ipswich. And on the outside, Eric Gunderson, the local hero, who was rather surprisingly eliminated from the World Championship last weekend in Sweden. Here we go, Heat 1 of the 1982 Golden Hammer. The outside grid to show, although Collins has done well around the inside. Segalos leads in second place. It's Phil Collins. In third place it is Gunderson at the back, Peter Collins. So now it's the two locals chasing hard after Dennis Segalos. Segalos, this very stylish American, must be regarded as a dark horse for the World Championship. Which was contested without the reigning world champion Bruce Pennell, and although we always rated him to be a fast starter, he's proved he has the ability to come from behind, moving into the last lap now, and he's in trouble and stopped, and that's a tragedy in Heat 1 for Segalos, right under our commentary position. His machine cut, that's allowed Phil Collins to move into the lead, Eric Gunderson in second, Peter Collins a long way back in third. So a win for Phil Collins in red, second in yellow and black helmet, although he lost it, Eric Gunderson, third was Peter Collins, and a spot of drama right at the top of the show. Moving on then into heat number 2, on the inside in red, Sean Moran, next to him in the blue helmet colour, Alan Graham, elder of the two Graham brothers competing. Grid 3 in white has Kelly Moran, the elder of the two Moran brothers, he's 22, brother Sean is only 20, and on the outside Phil Crump from Australia and Swindon. Inside then Sean Moran, next to him Alan Graham, grid 3 Kelly Moran, on the outside Phil Crump in the yellow and black helmet colour, coming under starters orders for heat number 2. And they all backed up into the first corner, and it's Crump who leads. In second place is Sean Moran, in third place it is Alan Graham with Kelly Moran, who looks and might just have got the jump, squeezed out at the first corner. So Crump in front, followed by Sean Moran. Interesting to speculate that these two riders will be engaged later this month in the British Match Race Championship Golden Helmets. Moran is the holder, having just relieved Kenny Carter of that honour, and Phil Crump, who has really been in sparkling form this season, is his next challenger. Moving up is Alan Graham, the Cradley rider, to challenge Sean Moran as they move into the last lap, 337 metres around Cradley Heath, and Sean Moran under some pressure from Alan Graham. Crump in front, here comes Graham again, and Graham just gets up on the line. So a win for Phil Crump in yellow and black. Alan Graham's persistence paying off. He gets 2 points in second place, and Sean Moran in third. Well, a really fine piece of overtaking around the last corner. We have Phil Crump in front and Sean Moran looking fairly comfortable in second. And you can see Alan Graham making his move. He's in the blue helmet colour. It had to be a last-ditch effort, and he timed his move to perfection. And as Phil Crump goes over the line, you'll see that Graham just gets up by about half a length to take second place. An interesting character here, Simon Wigg, the leading National League rider in the country. Of course, there are two sections of British Speedway, the British League, in effect the first division, of which Cradley are the champions, and the National League, which I'm sure they won't mind me calling them akin to the second division. Simon Wigg here, 26-year-old, Aylesbury domiciled, Weymouth based, He's been on loan to Cradley, and he's been a fairly useful performer to them. Reckoned to be the hottest property in the lower sphere, and having a taste of the big time here this afternoon. Let's have a look at the lineup for Heat 3. On the inside, we have Jan Werner replacing the late arriving Bruce Pennell. Next to him, Les Collins, newly crowned Intercontinental Champion from Leicester. Grid 3, Bobby Schwartz, former Heathen now with Reading from California. And on the outside, Simon Wigg, the only National League rider in the field. Heat number 3. Schwartz knows his way around this track. And Les Collins has been in tremendous form. But it is Schwartz who hits the trap. Schwartz leads. Second place coming through. It is Les Collins, and in third place, just getting squeezed out of the pit turn, is Simon Wigg, though Wigg isn't finished, and he's moving up to boldly challenge the Intercontinental Champion. And it is Wigg who's moved into second place, and that's impressive form from the young man from the South Coast. And now he's hard after Bobby Schwartz. Schwartz in front looking comfortable. But he certainly can't afford to get complacent, because Wigg will push him the whole length of the 4 laps. And here comes Wigg trying the outside run, and Schwartz must be aware of his presence. So a win for Schwartz, Bobby Schwartz in white. Second, impressive second too from Simon Wigg in yellow, and Les Collins, the Intercontinental Champion, not over impressive in third place there. This is Lance King, latest stateside import at Dudley Wood, 18 years old, a protege of Bruce Pennell, just back, or recently back anyway, after a shoulder injury, and he has really been an integral part of the Heathen side bidding to retain their British League Championship. He's a very useful performer, good starter, very solid and unpretentious one in front, looks comfortable all the time. Heat number 4 then, on the inside, Lance King from Cradley Heath in America. Next to him, Kenny Carter, England's number 1 at the moment. Andy Graham, the reigning British champion in white, and Chris Morton, who is the rider who in fact holds this title. He was the winner in 1980, and this meeting was twice washed out by the weather last year, so Chris in effect is defending the Golden Hammer title. Carter is the man they love to hate here at Dudley Wood after his clashes with the home idol Bruce Pennell. He's in blue and is a rare Yorkshire competitor. Here we go, Heat 4. And it is Carter who makes up all the ground in the first corner. Carter leads, but in second place it's Graham. And Morton was really squeezed out around the first 2 corners. Really was merciless on the holder. Carter leads, second place King, in third place Andy Graham. Well, you can see the distances for yourself. Kenny Carter in complete command, and it looks like he's going to be a rare threat for this Golden Hammer. To the last lap now, Lance King holding on to second place. And Andy Graham, the British champion, being dropped. So that's a potential pack start for Carter. He wins it. Second place King. Good opening for the lad from California too. In third place it was Andy Graham. So Carter, England's white hope for the World Championship, starts with a win in this Golden Hammer. Well, they've all had 1 ride each, and the 4 race winners, first time out, Phil Collins, Phil Crump, Bobby Schwartz and Kenny Carter. Moving on then to Heath number 5. On the inside it will be Chris Morton, squeezed out in his opening ride. Next to him, Phil Collins, a race winner, first time out, grid 3. Sean Moran with 1 point to his credit. And on the outside, Bobby Schwartz in the white, or rather the yellow and black helmet colour. So 2 early race winners meet here in Schwartz and Phil Collins, so something's got to give here in Heat number 5. And it was a tremendous start from Phil Collins. Schwartz going after him in third place. It is Morton. And Schwartz just edges into second place, but Phil Collins really is looking a thoroughbred here in this Golden Hammer. And a little bit of a battle going on for third place between Moran and Morton. And Schwartz chasing hard after Phil Collins. Morton has established third place and now has come within a couple of lengths of Bobby Schwartz for second place. And Morton has gone past Schwartz, who seems to be in a little bit of trouble there, and Schwartz going steadily backwards at the moment, which certainly hasn't enhanced his chance, but Phil Collins records his second win. Looking very smooth and stylish. Second was Morton, third was Schwartz. Well, let's have a look at what happened to Bobby Schwartz there, because he surrendered second place, really in a lot of trouble there, left a gap that you could have driven the Midland bus through. Chris Morton saw his opportunity and slid through into second place, and that might be a costly slip from Schwartz. Well, here's a sight that the Cradley fans will be waiting to see. World champion Bruce Pannell, the glamour boy, world champion, who had to make a late dash here. He's been away filming just down the way at Oxford. Seems to spend an awful lot of his time on public relations these days, as befits an image-conscious world champion. Well, here's Pannell. He has missed his opening ride, which rather torpedoes his chances, one would feel, in this Golden Hammer, but we have seen that Speedway is an unpredictable business. The lineup for Heat 6: on the inside, Kenny Carter. Next to him, Bruce Pannell, and these two are very old rivals. Chummy off the track. There's not a great deal of love lost between them when the tapes go up. Grid 3 has Peter Collins in white on the outside. It is Kelly Moran in yellow and black. Carter won his first race and looked awfully comfortable. Heat 6. Carter in front, second place is Pannell, just moving on the inside of Peter Collins, and Moran almost overtook the first corner, so Carter in front, and now Pannell going after him. And Pannell is down, and my word, Peter Collins did well to avoid him. And how many Midland hearts went into their mouths there, because Pannell fell, the referee has stopped it. And Peter Collins really worked miracles to avoid him. That really could have been serious. And we really do have to doff our caps to Peter Collins. The avoiding action he took there saved what might have been a very, very nasty accident.
Well, Bruce, a hell of a dash to get here, and not the best way to start.
No, I'd say so. I think I was just trying a little bit too hard there and got on the outside with the loose dirt. Really hard underneath, and just slid out, and Peter did a good job of avoid from hitting me, which is nice, but that's 2 crashes for me in the last 2 nights, and I'm very pleased about it.
Do you think it's anything to do with the fact that you've had a dash up here and not been able to prepare in quite the same way?
No, I can't blame it on that. You know, it's one of those things. I was just trying too hard, you know. It's been a real hectic last 3 days, but my crash had nothing to do with that.
Let's hope the rest of the evening goes better. Thanks for talking to us.
Thank you.
Heat 6, the restart without Bruce Pannell, who can count himself to be a lucky boy. Kenny Carter on the inside, unaware of the drama that was happening behind him. Peter Collins in white, who saved what might be a very glamorous skin. And on the outside, Kenny Moran in yellow and black. 3 starters only in Heat 6. Here is Collins. Seems to be able to pull the bike in the opposite direction when the occasion demanded. A very strong boy. He's built like a bull around the shoulders, Peter. And it really paid off in that incident in the first try at Heat 6. So here's the rerun. Carter, Collins, Moran. Those are the 3 starters. And here's Heat 6 for the second time of asking. And this time Kenny Moran has got a good gate from the outside. And he's gone completely around the outside of Carter. And Kenny Carter, who was comfortably in front before the race was stopped, now has a job of work to do. Moran on the outside, Carter Carter trying to bore a hole up on the inside. I think he might just have the drop on him here. Moran will give nothing away. And it's good speedway. And Moran has held him out. Again, Carter trying to find some drive around the line, and this time Shorty. Oh! And, well, it was aggressive, but it was fair. Speedway's a hard game into the last lap. Kenny Carter showing the kind of bottle, you might say. It's been lacking here and there in English Speedway. And Moran's chasing hard. I wonder what he'll say to him afterwards. Over the line, win for Carter, his second place Moran. Third was Peter Collins. And some very, very tough tactics by Kenny Carter there. The unfortunate Dennis Sigalos, this rangy Californian from Ipswich, they're number one in the world final for the first time at the Los Angeles Coliseum in the last weekend of August. He was leading Heat 1 when his engine cut, and that cost him dearly. Cost him 3 points, and it's going to be hard work for him to get back in the reckoning for this coveted Golden Hammer. There's Lance King, heavy in blue here. King, of course, the most recent American acquisition by the Heathens. Says he enjoys life over here, every part of it, apart from the food. Says you can't get a decent steak, all you get served up here is stringy old pigeon legs. Well, let's see if he can make a meal of heat number 7. Heat number 7 coming up. Les Collins on the inside has 1 point. Lance King, grid 2 in blue, has 2. Alan Graham, grid 3 in white, has a second place, 2 points after his opening ride. And on the outside, the not so fortunate Dennis Sigalos, who was leading Heat 1 before his engine gave up the ghost. So he's some ground to make up. There is Sigalos. Any lofty character, but on the tall side for a speedway rider. They always say the good little uns have beat the good big uns, but this guy rather disproves that theory. Very fast starter. We always felt he was a gator and couldn't really do much when it came from coming from behind, but he's again shot that theory all over the place this year, proving a bit of a tiger from the back. Here's Heat 7. Les Collins who leads it. They're all bunching up. In second place it's Alan Graham, and in third place it's King, and Collins has 2 Heathens, one inside and one outside. Collins in front. In second place Alan Graham, in third place Lance King. So it's first of all a battle, and it's going to be Alan Graham who forces a hole inside Les Collins and may well have left a gap for his Cradley teammate Lance King to follow through. Very tight, the first 3, not much to choose between Alan Graham out front and Lance King in third place, with Dennis Sigalos way out of contention at the back. And King has moved through as well. Well, the Cradley boys showing they know the quickest route around their own track here, because they've taken the Intercontinental champion rather sweetly first. Alan Graham, who will pick up 3 points here. Lance King gets 2. And Les Collins, after leading early on, collects only 1 point for his efforts. This grass track exponent, making such a blazing reputation in National League circles. Simon Wigg, 26 years old, younger brother of another well-known Midland-orientated grass tracker, Julian Wigg. Hasn't shown an awful lot of interest in Speedway in the past years, although he has unquestioned talent. So we're looking at heat number 8, and the lineup there. You can see Eric Gunderson with a second place under his belt. Phil Crump was a race winner first time out, so he's still got his eyes very firmly fixed on this beautiful Golden Hammer award. He'll be in the blue helmet colour. Simon Wigg in white, and the supposedly unlucky in Speedway green leathers. Brought him very much ill fortune. But on the outside, Andy Graham in yellow and black with 1 point to his credit. Heat 8, Gunderson on the inside. Crump, a race winner in blue. Grid 3, Simon Wigg, by no means out of his depth in this company. And on the outside, Andy Graham from Birmingham, the little lad who has made such an impact at Perry Bar this year. Here we go, he's 8. And Crump is the one that's been left, as in front it is Gunderson, with Andy Graham going around the outside of him in yellow and black. Graham in the lead. Second place is Gunderson. Here comes Simon Wigg, and the lad from Weymouth is really challenging boldly. And he's had the audacity to go past Eric Gunderson, one of the big guns, top of the British League averages, and Wigg is certainly not overawed by reputations. Graham in front, Wigg is second, Gunderson third, and the back Crump. To the leaderboard, because Crump, having won his first race, emerging as one of the favourites, has made absolutely no impression on heat number 8. Graham, as they move into the last lap, and still Wigg is challenging hard, and Wigg still trying to find a hole unsuccessfully. Graham wins it. Second place Simon Wigg, third was Gunderson, and Andy Graham showing the class that won him the British title. And Simon Wigg showing that, again, he's far too good to be left languishing in the National League. Well, they've all completed 2 rides, and 1 or 2 unexpected names up there on the leaderboard. Phil Collins and Kenny Carter, the leaders, unbeaten on 6 points. Alan Graham has 5 points, lying third. Bobby Schwartz on 4, and young Lance King getting his nose in the picture too, on 4 points. Phil Collins, one of the joint leaders after 2 races, and it must be said that Phil, the third of the Collins brothers, has looked as good as ever he's looked in those opening rides. It is a class field, remember. The world champion, Bruce Pennell, is in there, the British champion is in there, the Intercontinental champion is in there, so that Phil Collins here has really held his end up in top company. And he has another test here because he has got Andy Graham and his brother Les. Now, Les Collins has shown his unquestioned talent in Sweden, and of course the inspiration of Leicester. We saw Leicester on our central sporting coverage take apart their old rivals Coventry last week, and Les was instrumental in that victory. He really is having a vintage season. The lineup for Heat 9, on the inside, Kenny Moran, who recovered from a sluggish start with a perky second place last time. Andy Graham, who also had a pretty indifferent opening ride with only 1 point and won his last race. Phil Collins, 2 superb wins under his belt. He's in grid 3, and Les Collins with 2 third places. Heat 9, can Phil Collins maintain his challenge for this really beautiful Golden Hammer? He has upset a few reputations in the past. He really needs a win here in Heat 9, and he's got some hot opposition. And it is the inside grids who get away. It is Kenny Moran leading in second place, Andy Graham, and Collins is at the back as Les Collins comes storming through. And now Phil Collins moves into third place and chasing hard after the leaders. It is Moran in front, second place Andy Graham, Phil Collins in third place. And Phil Collins dashes inside Andy Graham, but Graham just holds him out. And we have something special going on for this second place point. Oh, Collins almost over the grass there. Still Moran in front, looking cosy. And Phil Collins and Graham absolutely locked together for second place. It's a terrific battle. There it is. Collins on the inside, Graham on the outside, neither giving an inch. It's marvellous stuff, look at that. Absolutely shoulder to shoulder, and by sheer persistence and aggression, Phil Collins has got through. I think it might be too late to catch Kenny Moran, and again this can make a difference to the top of the score chart here in this golden helmet. A win for Moran on his back wheel, Phil Collins on his back wheel. Third place was Andy Graham, and that really wasn't a bad old Speedway race. Well, look at the battle for second place here, because neither Graham on the outside or Phil Collins on the inside gave an inch. And they almost rubbed elbows here, as you can see. They go into the corner, very, very tight indeed. And it just was absolute determination that saw Phil Collins on the inside through here. Just about gets through there. And Graham giving, again, nothing away. Really, really rubbing shoulders there. And this time Phil Collins has just got the drop as they hit the last lap, and his efforts, fine though it was to take second place, just coming a bit too late to catch the flying Kelly Moran up front. Well, we're going to take a break as we're midway through this Golden Hammer. Don't go away, we'll be right back. And welcome back as the Golden Hammer reaches its climax. Heat 10, the rider in blue, Sean Moran, and this dynamic character from the Sheffield Tigers really hasn't had too happy a night. He's got just 1 point to his credit, and considering he is the British match race champion at this stage, he'll be looking to pick up his performance as the second half unfolds. Peter Collins too, one of the now legendary figures in British Speedway, one of only 4 riders from England to have won the World Championship. Peter, of course, who missed last season with a very serious arm injury, which indeed he sustained here at Cradley in a late KO Cup match back the season before. It's only really just getting back to his best. Still a doughty old campaigner, but maybe just past his best. Heat 10 then, on the inside, Simon Wigg, who has been a surprise packet with 4 points. Next to him in grid 2, we have Sean Moran, just 1 point to show from 2 rides. Lance King, also one of the youngsters making an impact in this Golden Hammer. He has 4 points from his 2 starts. And on the outside, Peter Collins, who has 2 third places, and it might be said, made the gesture of the night when he saved Bruce Pennell's neck when he fell almost in front of him. So here we go, Heat 10. Let's watch for the youngsters. Wigg and for King. And it is Wigg who gets away. And in second place, it's King. And it really is a surprise, this. And refreshing to see these youngsters really showing the way home to the more international riders. And King in a bit of trouble there, which will let Sean Moran through. Wigg in front. Simon Wigg really is showing all the ability which really should take him to the top. And what this young man is doing, really wasting his time in National League Speedway, it's difficult to fathom. Cradley, of course, have an option on his services, and I'm sure that Peter Adams, their boss, will be maybe reaching for his checkbook before too long, because this lad is far too good to play ducks and drakes in the National League. He's showing the way home. Sean Moran, the Golden Helmet match race champion, is a long way back. Lance King's in third place, and Peter Collins is out of sight. So that, again, it's a super win for Wigg. Second place, Sean Moran. Third, Lance King. And Simon Wigg, no question, has got the crowd buzzing with speculation here at Cradley Heath.
Well, a lot of people must wonder why you're still in the National League and not the British League after a performance like that, Simon.
I've asked myself the same question. At the time I wanted to go up, nobody really could afford the price that my club wanted, or situations didn't work out, so I ended up being stuck where I was for another year.
You must feel a lot of satisfaction, though, coming to a Golden Hammer meeting and beating all these top men.
Oh, obviously, you know, but then again, I've got a lot of confidence, and I've been having a good year, and I think if things are going good, it just snowballs, and I don't really think who you're against really makes much difference. When you're feeling really good, it just seems to happen, really.
Not so long ago, you said that you actually preferred grass tracking. Is that still the case?
Well, it's never been a preferred thing. It's just that I was better at it, so that had to come first. But with the Speedway, obviously, I'm getting keener and keener all the time. And at the moment, you know, I'm just riding them along together, not trying to put one against the other. But, you know.
Well, so far tonight, it's going well. We wish you well for the rest of it. Thanks for talking to us.
Thanks very much.
Well, Dennis Segalos in the white helmet colour, well, he is having a nightmare of a night at the moment. No points. His machine faltered and shuddered to a halt opening ride. And he'll be looking really to pick up some scraps from this evening's activity here in Heat 11. We'll have a look at the lineup for Heat 11. Phil Crump started well, ran at last in his last outing. Bobby Swartz almost the same in blue. He started well, then had a third place. Second time out, Dennis Segalos yet to score. And on the outside, the leader, Kenny Carter, unbeaten after 2 rides, who has shown us a very mean streak from time to time. He's such a determined character, this. He really has got some backbone, lacking nothing in courage. And here we go for Heat 11. We'll watch for Carter from the outside. was who came across, and Sigalos did well to make contact with the referee, John Iglesias, having none of that. Oh. And it'll be interesting to have a look at that again, because it did get a bit naughty in there. Well, let's just watch Carter. Never really made the start, and he moved across and gave them a fearful old nudge-o. You can see Carter there. He's on his back when he moves across and gives Sigalos a shove, and the lanky Californian really did well to stay on. And that nudge that Sigalos unquestionably took there obviously has caused him some distress. The ambulance boys are there. We can see Bobby Schwartz, his fellow Californian. They're so very close, all these Americans. And Dennis really is having an awfully unlucky night. It looked like he might just have twisted an ankle or a knee there as he tried to maintain contact. Oh, you can almost feel the pain. So Kenny Carter sits waiting for the opposition. Carter on the outside, who might just be adjudged to have caused all the fracas. Heat 11, the revised lineup, with Phil Crump on the inside, Bobby Schwartz in grid 2, Andy Reid, the second reserve, replacing the injured Dennis Sigalos, and on the outside, Kenny Carter, who really again showed his ruthless streak at the start. Here's Heat 11 for the second time of asking. From the inside, it is Crump who leads it. Carter's in second place, Schwartz is third, and Phil Crump made a getaway there. And he's got to go some now because he's got Carter on his tail, and we all know that Carter doesn't like to be beaten. Oh, Carter almost overcooked the corner, and it's getting a little bit tight between Crump and Carter. Now, can Kenny Carter, unbeaten so far, get up in these next 2 laps? At the moment, Crump is holding him back, and Crump is riding his own line. He's ridden a terrible line on that corner, and lets a hole that Carter really could have driven the track grader through, just when it seemed that Crump was in command. Just one slip, that's all it's needed at this level, and Carter was through there like a shot. And he really does look well set in this Golden Hammer, with perhaps his main rival, Bruce Pennell, having an up-and-down night, to say the least. Carter takes his third win. Second place was Crump. Third was Bobby Schwartz. And Kenny Carter, England's Crown Prince, looks well set for this Golden Hammer. Well, there is the rider to watch for in Heat 12, Alan Graham. This carrot-top local lad who has got a win in a second place, so very much still in touch with the top, along with his teammate Phil Collins. And with Bruce Pennell having one of his rare and different nights, it's to these 2 local lads that the Heathens are looking for glory. I look at the lineup for Heat 12. On the inside, Chris Wharton has 2 points. Eric Gunderson, another top Heathen, not having too happy a day, has 3 points from 2 starts. We have Bruce Pennell without a score to his credit yet. And on the outside, Alan Graham, who has 5 points. So the 3 top Heathens and Chris Morton in just to add a little bit of seasoning to the blue here in Heat 12. Morton's on the inside. The inside grid has looked slightly advantageous, although we've had a lot of passing and repassing. Here we go, Heat 12. And it is a very even break, and it is Morton who shows Pennell's in second place. Graham is third, and Goodison's at the back. So it is the one non-Heathen in front, and now Bruce Pennell looking to retrieve respectability from his evening's activity. And Alan Graham has tried to move through a gap which was hardly room enough for a needle to go through, and Pennell had to use all his guile and flair to contain him. Right out of the dirt, that's where he fell in an earlier ride. Must be said, the world champion not looking his usual incomparable self. And as though he's heard me, Bruce Pennell moves up to try one of his swoops on Morton, but Morton has gone clear. And Andy Graham back in third place. This is doing no good at all for his chance of taking this title. Morton wins it. Pennell is second. Third is Alan Graham. Goodison's at the back. And the Heathens crowd, who have seen their lads so all-conquering in recent seasons, in just a little bit of disbelief there. They've all completed 3 rides, and the leader by just 1 point, Kenny Carter from Halifax in England, unbeaten on 9. Phil Collins really breathing down his neck on 8, and just look at Simon Wigg up there on 7 points in 3rd place. Then we have the Graham brothers, Alan and Andy, on 6 and 5 apiece. And just looking across to see the other riders in contention, Lance King has 5, Kelly Moran has 5, so too has Bobby Schwartz, Phil Crump, and now Chris Morton. So there is the lineup for Heat 13. And remember, they all will still have their eyes firmly fixed on the title. And this one really could sort out the eventual winner. Inside, Alan Graham, 6 points. Next to him, Simon Wigg, 7 points. Grid 3, Kenny Carter, 9 points, unbeaten. And on the outside, Phil Collins on 8 points. So, well, something really has got to give here. And we'll watch for Carter. Really has shown us all the aggression we've come to expect from this gritty little tyke on a bike. He's won from the start, he's come from the back, and he's swept by opposition and given nothing away. Here we go, Heat 13, the one race that really could decide this 1982 Golden Hammer at Cradley Heath. And Carter, it is who just shows in front. Carter in front, Graham is second, and Graham has gone under him. But Carter has contained him in 3rd place. It is Phil Collins and Wigg at the back. Carter again showing he really is a pedigree performer. When the chips are down, he always seems to rise to the occasion, and Alan Graham and Phil Collins having a real tussle for 2nd place, Cradley teammates, but giving absolutely no quarter at the moment. It's going to be an important win, this one, for Kenny Carter, because these are all his main rivals, and if he wins this one, he's going to make it awfully difficult for the others to catch him. Battle really is for 2nd place, with Graham and Phil Collins almost bursting a gut trying to get by. It was a spectacular sight when he's in full flow, Phil Collins, and here he comes. I think he's left his effort just a mite too late. Carter wins it. Important win for him. 2nd place, Graham. 3rd, Collins. At the back, Simon Wigg. And we can but now conjecture if that is the race that has won the 1982 Golden Hammer for Kenny Carter.
Well, Kenny, 4 races and 4 wins, not a bad start, is it?
It's been a fantastic start. You know, we come to this meeting and I was very tired because I've been working all day on my new farm, and I'm just pleased to be in there with a chance of winning it.
You don't seem to be the most popular rider among the Cradley crowd.
I think they like me, really.
A lot of people say that, I mean, you're a very successful man, but a very ruthless rider. Would you agree with that?
Well, I don't think so, really. You know, it's my living, and I've got a wife to support, and I've got a new house, so, you know, I just ride my hardest.
They say up in Yorkshire that you get known for being second, and you always want to win. Is that your philosophy?
Yeah, that's true, you know. I don't like to be second at anything, you know, even if it's playing one of my mates at a game of darts in a pub, which, you know, I can't really play darts very good, but I don't like to lose.
Now, your form tonight suggests that with Los Angeles a month away, you could well be there to take Penhall's crown.
Well, I hope so. That's what we're going there for.
Do you think you're going to win?
Yeah, I'm sure.
We wish you luck. Thanks for talking to us.
Thank you.
Heat 14, there is the lineup. Peter Collins with just 2 points to his credit from 3 rides. Next to him is Bellevue Manchester teammate Chris Morton, who has livened up proceedings somewhat after a no-scoring start. He now has 5 points. Phil Crump has 5 points too. He's in grid 3. And Les Collins, the Intercontinental champion, who has looked, it must be said, a shade lackluster, considering the sparkle we know he can spread when he feels like it. There's Les. He was a late substitute in this evening's meetings for the injured Michael Lee. Maybe he just didn't get himself together preparation-wise. It's unlike him if he didn't. Here's Heat 14. And from the inside, it is Peter Collins who's got away. Now, there's a surprise. Peter Collins leads it. 2nd place is Crump. 3rd place is Morton, and Les Collins at the back. And Peter Collins, not known for his consistent gating, is in front. Boring hard under him, it's Phil Crump. 3rd place is Chris Morton. And there is such colossal parity at the top of World Speedway that a rider can finish last and then suddenly pop up like Peter Collins is here. PC, of course, the eldest of 5 brothers from Lymm in Cheshire, 1976 world champion. He's had to have 2 runoffs for the last qualification place for the last 2 rounds of the World Championship to make the 1982 final in Los Angeles. Maybe not the old all-conquering Collins that we knew and loved so well back 5 years ago, but still a hard man to beat, particularly when he gets in front. He is going to win Heat 14. Phil Crump is second. Third is Chris Morton. And we have the lineup for Heat 15 on the inside. Andy Graham with 5 points. Next to him reserve Jan Werner, replacing Dennis Segalos. Grid 3, Bruce Pennell. On the outside, Sean Moran with 3 points to show from his 3 starts. Heat 15 then, Graham on the inside, Werner grid 2 in blue, Pennell white grid 3, Sean Moran yellow and black helmet colour on the outside, almost putting his nose into our camera here on the outside at the start of Heat 15. And Graham and Pennell hit the corner together. Graham just shows in front. Can Pennell find the drive around the outside? He'd love to do this, and Graham will hold him, or at least he'll try to. And now Pennell, as he just got the legs, I think he has, just about. And this is a bit more like it, and he closes down hard on Andy Graham. In third place it's Sean Moran. And the Cradley crowd here looking just a bit happier, because this is more like the Bruce Pennell they know and idolise. To the last lap, just 337 metres to go between Bruce Pennell and his first race win of the evening, and considering it's his 4th ride, that's a long time in any meeting for Bruce Pennell to wait to taste a race win. Pennell wins it. Second place, Andy Graham. Third, Moran. So Bruce Pennell takes the checkered flag and will be feeling a little bit happier with life after that experience. Bobby Schwartz, of course, was part of the Cradley side before moving on to Reading, where he's had a couple of years. He was a member of their championship squad in 1980. Things haven't gone quite so well for him the past couple of years, but he really has been in his most effervescent form in recent weeks. He's on the inside. Next to him, Kelly Moran, who has perked up after a duck first time out, a second and a win. Eric Gunderson doesn't seem to be over the disappointments of not qualifying for the World Final. Number 4 last year, remember, didn't qualify in Sweden. On the outside, Lance King. And so Heat 16, Schwartz on the inside, Kelly Moran blue grid 2, Eric Gunderson white grid 3, Lance King on the outside in yellow and black. Heat number 16, 3 Americans, 1 day, and lots of action. Into the corner, it is Gunderson who gets away leading the Americans. Second place is Schwartz, third is Kelly Moran, and at the back it is young King. And King is really grabbing great fistfuls of throttle at the back. Here's the battle up front. It's Gunderson leading. Schwartz going hurtling after him, and again almost missing the top 2 corners of the line. Moran to come through, and Moran on his back wheel. It really is playing to the gallery out there. They really do come under our commentary box on their left ear holes. Here's Gunderson. Second place is Schwartz. King getting up to make a big effort around the outside of Moran. There's the battle for third place. And Duck Franny, they're coming right to the screen at you. So Eric Gunderson shakes off the challenge of the Statessiders. He is going to win. Second place on the line there, although Moran made an effort. It looked like Schwartz. Third place Moran, and King, for all his hard work, in last place. They've had 4 rides apiece, just 1 to go, and Kenny Carter now well clear, as you can see, on 12 points. 3 clear of Phil Collins on 9, Alan Graham on 8, so 2 heathens well in the picture there. Simon Wigg and Phil Crump also on the leaderboard with 7 apiece. Crump is one of the riders who conceivably might just squeeze in the frame. He has 7 points from 4 starts and will be ruining a coconut he collected in his second outing. He's got some pretty torrid opposition here. 3 Cradley riders. Phil Collins on the inside, and Phil has 9 points, so he's very much up on the leaderboard. Next to him, Crump in blue. Grid 3 has Lance King, who has 5 points, and Bruce Pennell also on 5, recovering from a really unhappy start. There's King and Pennell on the outside, and Bruce Pennell from the outside can really hit these traps. Let's watch here. We can almost get in touch him on the elbow. Just watch the left hand as the clutch goes when the tapes go up. It bites like a piranha fish. Up and away they go. And from the inside, it's Crump who's in front. Crump leads the Heathens. In second place, it's Phil Collins. And here comes Pennell around the outside. He's gone roaring past his teammate Collins. And now he's chasing hard after Phil Crump. And there's the battle. And Bruce Pennell is really determined to give the crowd their money's worth. He's gone inside and outside, and now he's pushing hard, nudging all the time on Crump, and Crump is giving him nothing. Well, Crump was in this position with Carter and lost the lead around about here, and Pennell is trying to follow him through, and there isn't much room in there. Remember, they're doing something like 60 mile an hour, and Pennell didn't really run a very good corner there at all, and almost let Phil Collins through. So we've seen Chris Morton earlier come out and beat a couple of roaring Heathens, and it looks like Phil Crump is going to do similarly here in Heat 17. Crump wins it, and Phil Collins might just have got up on the line there on his back wheel. Certainly close call, but no doubt about the winner, Phil Crump. In Heat 18, we have Bobby Schwartz on the inside. He has 7. Alan Graham in grid 3. Peter Collins in between them has only 5 points. Alan Graham has 8, and brother Andy on the outside has 7. So Schwartz, Alan Graham or Andy Graham, dependent on the result of Heat 18, might all go into a runoff. Although if Alan Graham gets up here and wins it, it could clinch second place overall, providing Kenny Carter does nothing ridiculous in his last ride. That's the way it looks as the slide rules come out here at Dudley Wood Stadium. Heat 18, the Graham brothers, Schwartz and Peter Collins. And it is Peter Collins who gets away. Now there's a surprise. Peter Collins gets away. They're all bunching up behind him. In second place, it is Schwartz, the Graham brothers behind them, and he can throw a lady's handkerchief over all 4 at the moment. The gap has got Andy Graham, and that was a sensational piece of Speedway. So it is now Andy Graham leading, second place Schwartz, third is Alan Graham, and Peter Collins, who led the first lap, is in last place. And whoever said that Speedway is all about the first bloke getting out of the start. Now Alan Graham coming hard under Bobby Schwartz. This is a race we're going to remember for a long while. The Graham brothers really carving it up out there in Heat 18 is going to make it very interesting, because Schwartz is battling back into second place. Alan Graham leading it. Second place Schwartz. Now a win here will take Andy Graham up on the 10 points, and a third place will mean that Alan Graham's chance of a place in the frame is over. Andy Graham wins it, most deservedly. Schwartz is second, Alan Graham third, Collins is last. And that is one that will be most interesting to analyse again. Well, the rider to watch for here really is Andy Graham here, right on the outside in yellow and black. You'll see he misses the start. It's Peter Collins who gets away in grid 2, with Bobby Schwartz in the red helmet colour going after him. Now, Andy Graham is on the outside of that picture as they hit the apex of the turn. Now, he's back in last place clearly here as they all bunch up going down the back straight. And this really is one of the finest pieces of passing I think it's been our pleasure to record on ITV, because you can see young Graham there still being squeezed out. We've got Schwartz on the inside, Collins on the outside up front. Now just watch the little Birmingham rider. He swings back round here, he gets his wheel in line, and he goes between Collins and Schwartz, and you will never see a better piece of overtaking on a motorcycle than that. We're moving on to the last heat, and it really is a showcase for the winner of the 1982 Golden Hammer, because whatever happens here, Kenny Carter, and he's in the blue helmet colour, cannot be overhauled. He has 12 points unbeaten And his nearest challengers have all finished on 10 points. On the inside here, we've got Sean Moran, who only has 4. Carter in grid 2. Les Collins has 2 points from grid 3. Eric Gunderson on the outside, livening up a bit now, has 6 points. But will Carter go through the meeting unbeaten? Away they go, and he's made a terrific start. And so too has Gunderson from the outside. And Kenny Carter, who said to us he hated finishing second even in a game of darts, isn't looking in the mood to finish second here in Heat 20. So Carter in front, and this will do his confidence no harm at all. It really is a class field, as Cradley promoter Peter Adams said pre-meeting. It's as good as the World Final, and few would argue with that. And Carter has beaten them all out of sight. He's had to come from the back, he's had to start, he's done everything right. And if we can get a repeat performance of this in Los Angeles, there'd be no complaints from the English Speedway fans. They're into the last lap. We've had 4 English world champions, Tommy Price in 1949, Peter Craven twice in 1955 and 62. We've had Peter Collins in 76 and Michael Lee in 1980, and we wonder if we're looking at the 1982 world champion, Kenny Carter, but he's certainly the Golden Helmet winner and the Golden Hammer champion for this year, and he's done it in the most impressive fashion.
Well, what can you say about this man, Kenny Carter? 5 races, 5 wins, maximum points, and tonight's prestigious Golden Hammer Award of 1982. Phil Crump was second for the record, and Phil Collins came in 3rd place. The light's just about gone, but I hope very much you've enjoyed our coverage of this Golden Hammer meeting here at the Cradley Stadium. We're back with more summer sport for you next Sunday at the same time. Till then, from all of us, a very good night.